Hey guys, what's up? So you voted on what you wanted next, and here we are. Today we'll be checking out some interesting instances of Sungrand's interview with Smash JT. The full thing goes on for over an hour, and there will be a link in the description for anyone who wants to see the full thing and edit it. As for me, first of all, I'm sorry for the delay. There was a massive power outage in my country and a couple of others in Europe for pretty much all of Monday, so this is a bit late. But I went ahead and checked out Harmful Opinions video on it, and thankfully most of my work on the video covers different things, mainly just focusing on the interview itself, so if you've watched his video you won't be running into repeated information here and vice versa. I'm going to use one clip of his to substantiate one detail in my video though. There's a lot of lying in this interview, there's a lot of, telling Smash and the audience watching what he thinks that people want to hear rather than just coming clean. His stories and delusions of grandeur are on full display, and throughout their interview he even contradicts those stories more than once. And that's what I'll be mainly focusing on here. We're gonna go point by point, but I'm not going to cover the whole video, just some of the key parts. My personal view on Sungrand has drastically changed over time. I went from genuinely liking the guy to believing he was dealing with loss and needed help, to now honestly believing that he's actually fine. I don't think he's crazy or going through some heavy stuff. I think he just crashed out over Nintendo and started building up this ridiculous story to excuse it, but it just keeps crumbling down because he's failing monumentally at keeping it straight. Get a snack, settle in, and have fun as Jerrel explains all the intricacies of his secret master plan, where he was just pretending to have completely lost his mind. Let's jump in.
I want to say it's an honor because it's someone that I have been watching for a long time now, and someone who I've always wanted to speak to.
I don't want to sound like a stalker, but I've been watching you longer than you've been watching me.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Really? Okay. I've been watching you ever since Asmongold started covering you with the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah, I was watching you before that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
I don't comment often, so.
Okay. Oh,
but it would have been on my personal account.
Gotcha.
Right.
But why don't you tell people like what's going on in the situation just to fill them in with it?
Yeah. So, and this is something that I mentioned to you a little while back, and I asked you to keep it just between us. You've seen my speech videos, my absolute priority is to fight for gamers. I'm very careful that I don't say anything that will lock me out of being able to make a situation better. So I never speak names, especially, but I will now, since I'm going to be fully transparent with everyone here.
Are you sure about that?
But seeing people like Kim Belair and other people, these are the only people that are speaking in the industry. These are the only people guiding these companies, and it is frustrating watching them drive the industry into the ground and to view gamers like, oh, these are idiots, we could do whatever we want. And so my long-term goal has been to position myself to where I can take speeches and do presentations in the industry so that developers and publishers have another voice to listen to, so it's not just Kim Belair.
Just keep this in mind for now, guys. It's going to be very important later. By his own account here, Jerrel wants to do serious work from the inside. Serious work against the activism in the industry right now. In the remaining first parts of this video, there'll be some small things that he says that I just want you guys to keep in mind for later. It may be a bit annoying at first, but trust me, they'll come up later. It's just that the whole thing is a bit scattered and Jerrel repeats himself a lot throughout the video, and in other instances, it looks like he's just building up a story as he goes along. So basically the story that he starts with at the beginning of the video develops more and more with more nuggets of information throughout the video.
It is very clear that I have a bias. If you look up my name, if you look up Sungrand on the internet, it's clear I have a bias for a particular side of the conversation. And so the reason why I have taken the actions this month, which was basically I was purposefully making people angry at me. I was trying to get people to make angry content online so that when I put in a bid to do a speech, if they look online, they'll see, oh, wait, okay, so it's not just one side. This person isn't biased. It's people from all sides that are critical of this guy. If I didn't do what I did this month, then if I put in a bid to do a speech, I say, hey, I'd like to speak at your university. I'd like to speak at your event. They would look online. They would see, oh, well, Jerrel is sided with these people. These people are cheering for Jerrel. and he's only receiving criticism from one side of the conversation. He must be biased. He's not trustworthy.
I call bullshit. Throughout the course of the video, in response to more instances of him bringing this up, I will be explaining why in more depth and addressing inconsistencies with his plan. Right now, in short, everyone has biases. It is what it is. If the industry is too tilted towards the other side, the other people, the ones that criticize Jerrel, then he's never speaking at any events run by them, because they want people who are biased towards them, in their favor, not people who are unbiased, or in his case, people who have dozens of videos biased against him, and then videos defending Nintendo prices and acting like a jackass towards his audience. Those videos don't change his biases. His previous speech videos, where he speaks against groups such as Sweet Baby Inc. in the industry, are still on his channel. He's already laying down the foundation for this new story in regards to what's been happening and what he has been planning. And the funny thing is, if it was even true, if this was actually true, the only thing they would see now looking him up would be videos on his crash out and the massive Spanish telenovela that has unraveled afterwards.
So that is why I have taken. I hope you follow my logic here. Does that make sense?
I'm trying. I'm tripping up a little bit because.
Let me know what doesn't make sense to you.
Do you feel like that is the best approach though? Because it's not being true to yourself if you're manipulating a situation in order to get somewhere, to try to, like, it's like a 4D chess move that people keep saying, like, oh, he's one step ahead of the game with what he's doing here. Instead of just being, hey, this is who I side with, and this is transparently why I feel this way. And if this school or organization or wherever that would be giving you the speech would say, no, we don't see the other side to the story from you, so we don't want you, then that's on them. Why do you need to bend the knee and say, I'm one of you guys, you put a fake nose ring in and you say, hey, I can actually hang out, and then kind of go through there, almost like a Trojan horse type thing, which is what I'm hearing from you. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that is an excellent question. I'm glad you asked that.
And I wish things worked that way. I wish things could be black and white, things could be simple. But I have been in industry situations where that's just not how it works. I wish it could be like that. But working at industry level it's cutthroat, it is ruthless, and it's brutal. And that's why I stepped away from it, because I don't like having to be in that environment where you don't just get to be 100% honest and transparent. But working at industry level, there are moments where you'll have to do things that this isn't how I would like to do it. This is why I want to separate my industry work from my YouTube channel, that I just want to make cool fun stuff for people.
Keep this thing in mind, this whole thing about this dumb Trojan horse plan. Basically, this is the foundation for Jerrel's supposed plan where he would anger his audience to garner hate comments and pretend to be on the industry's side, so the same activists that give Kim Belair and others like her the time of day to speak at their events will also, for some reason, give it to him, allowing him to come in and do his speeches from the inside.
Come up with. Obviously, I don't want to force people to unsubscribe, but I had to have a cover. And I'm revealing the cover now, so I'm sabotaging things a little bit, well, actually a lot. Because I can't just say what my plan is, and I can't just say, I need people to attack me from all sides so it looks even and fair. If I say that, that ruins my whole goal. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
Then why is he live right now? If this is such an important plan, something so deeply important that not only has him sacrificing his channel,
whole objective was to make people angry and attack me. And what I was actively doing and chose to do was to trade the respect that people had for me, the goodwill that they had for me, I was trading that for better positioning in the industry so that I could do more good for gamers, so that I could fight more directly, because there's a limit to what I can achieve by doing the speech videos on YouTube. There's a real limit to what I can achieve. Yeah. I had made my choice to trade my channel for better positioning in the industry. I had made that choice.
And that is driven by a strong sense of guilt for him disappointing his mentor that died with cancer a few weeks ago, which he will also be bringing up way later in this interview with Smash as his story gains more form along the way. Then why fuck it all up by going live? What could possibly be more important than this plan that he decided to dedicate himself to as his life's work to do something more impactful from within the industry, where his skill set can be truly taken advantage of?
That's a good point. So by you coming on right now and saying all this, doesn't this kind of defeat the whole purpose of whatever approach you were doing then?
I did, and the reason I've chose you is because I've been listening to you, I've been listening to other people, and this goes back to my ruthlessness when I'm doing industry work. I'm a different person. I'm really mean and I'm ruthless in those, and I don't like that. That's why I keep telling I don't like doing those. I don't like the speech videos. And when I am in that mindset, when I'm doing industry work, I do not consider people's feelings, because you can't. If you consider people's feelings, you will be beaten by the other people working around you. So when I'm doing industry work, I route a path to my goal, and I take whatever steps necessary to achieve that goal, no matter what it takes. And I had not considered the feelings of the community in this situation, and I realize now that was a mistake, and I should have spent more time considering how other people would feel.
So basically, to cut this word salad down, it was because random people on his channel that he actively chose to sacrifice felt bad about the way that he conducted himself? What is he on about? This is inconsistent with his own narrative and also contradictory to his earlier narrative, where he said that he was actively looking towards pissing people off so that he would have angry comments, so that would translate into getting invited to do speeches at universities or whatever the fuck else. If this was his plan, then having people mad at him was not only a primary contingency for it, it was straight up part of the goal. It was the objective. The objective that he reached. So why the hell is he burning it all down and addressing it here live for all to see? Could it be because it's all bullshit? Man, I don't want to be unkind to Jerrel. Unlike Harmful Opinions and to a degree Smash AT, Vara Dark and Hypnotic, he hasn't personally slighted me, but he's lying. Why does he have to keep lying? Why does he think that this is going to work? It's so disappointing to see and funny at the same time, honestly.
I think that's part of because you often say, I'm not a YouTuber. And I think maybe, tell me if I'm wrong here, but maybe you were thinking that because you say that, people just believe that and run with it so that you can change on a dime and they should just know, hey, he's not a YouTuber, he can do whatever he wants. But the reality hit you that you are a YouTuber, as much as you might not think you are. You make YouTube videos, you post them. You are. You can call yourself not one, but you are one. So
people
it's kind of disingenuous to say that. What's that?
Yeah, well, people can call me. We can all call ourselves whatever we want. Then, if you call me a YouTuber, then I'll accept. I can respect that. I can accept that. I'll respect it. But my goal is to not be a YouTuber. My goal was to make sure that someone's fighting for gamers, that someone's making sure gamers' voices are heard, and that someone who can take the hits and who can fight back will fight for gamers.
Oh god, just shut up. Always repeating the same shit on and on and on. Over here, just keep in mind his distaste for being called a YouTuber. He doesn't like it. It's like he cringes at the thought of it and has a disregard for what can be achieved through a YouTube channel, despite having made that video thinking Smash AT, Vara Dark and Hypnotic and praising the work that they've done as valuable. Both of these things will come up a bit later in the video, including an extra bit in regards to Harmful Opinions video where he spoke to Sungrand and was given another version of his story that he did not tell to Smash AT, where he throws all of these YouTubers under the bus.
By the way, I'm sure you've seen the videos being made about you, not just from me, but from other people as well.
I haven't seen a single one.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't watch videos about me, and I'm really busy with life stuff. So I don't.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I don't.
Just so you know, this is bullshit. He watched videos from Fratanga and he also 100% watched videos from Harmful Opinion. He's also been seen live over at Hypnotic's channel when he was reacting to one of his videos during the crash out.
The general sentiment of the community right now is fairly frustrated. There is a general sentiment of distrust with you, especially when it comes to dealing with the passing of friends,
Yeah.
and often referencing whether it be cancer or old age or whatever miscellaneous event,
Yeah.
where the passing of someone, and people will see that, and if it's a one-time thing, they might be like, all right, cool, I get it, I understand, we're all human. But there have been videos showing you saying this about multiple different people throughout the years in videos,
Yeah.
almost as a way to emotionally manipulate them. What would you say to that?
I'm personally hurt that people would think that. And I don't think I've ever felt personally hurt on YouTube before, but that is something. Oh shit. Sorry. Oh shit. I discuss these topics because I read the comments, and there are people that have to deal with this and they've never dealt with it before. And I discuss it because people told me that when I talk about it, it helped them. It helped them make their way through it. It helped them understand the situation. And the message that I'm trying to get out there is, don't be afraid. Try to be strong for the people who are suffering. That has been my message. And I am personally hurt that people say that I'm using that to manipulate, because I create those videos to support other people and to help them.
That's great, but why did he make that one video, specifically the one after the Nintendo Prize situation, and framed it as an excuse in regards to all of his behavior lately having been impacted by the friend passing?
I'm very unhappy with the Switch 2 pricing, but I've been trying to stay positive about it in my videos, and it resulted in people being very angry at me about being so positive about the videos, and I want to explain that. But also, this is a topic it's pretty important, because over the past 2 weeks it has affected every single one of my videos. It has affected every single line of dialogue that I've spoken in my videos. About 2 weeks ago, someone very important to me died, and I didn't want to talk about it. But I knew that it was going to influence all of my decisions going forward in terms of work, how I approach the industry. But someone very important to me died from cancer.
Because that's the problem here. That's the issue that people are banging on. This is why people don't even believe him when he's doing this crying thing in the video. It's not even that he makes several of these videos talking about friends with cancer or friends dying. I mean, some other people may have that concern, pointing to a pattern of dishonesty and manipulation overall going back, and that's fine. But I'm more concerned with honing in on this instance here within this interview, because on that video, he wasn't doing it to talk to people, help them with loss, and encourage them to spend time with their loved ones, as he has done in the past in some other videos, encouraging people to call them, talk to them, etc., because you never know what tomorrow looks like. I actually appreciate this kind of sentiment if it is genuine, but that video was all about excusing his past videos where he was being condescending and defending inexcusable price hikes for Nintendo, how every word was impacted by this loss, how this has rocked his life and affected every script that he wrote, and how now, moving forward, he just wants to make positive content because his other friend is dying as well, and he just needs to remain positive for him, which is another version of that original story. So basically we have, I want to stop making negative videos because I need to make positive videos because my friend is dying and I need to be positive and reassuring for him, and I can't do that unless I make videos focused on that. And I don't want to make these videos because these videos are negative and I don't like making them. They draw in negative attention, bad people into the comment sections, and I don't want them there because I need my channel to be positive, because I have people in the comments who complain about all of this negativity and they just want my channel to be a nice place to relax at the end of the day. This last one was the one that he explained after his crash out video.
Alright, so I think I can finally tell you what I've been working on. Over the past few months, I've been noticing more and more people, and I've lost count of all the people that are saying that their week is tough, they just have such a tough work week, and that my channel is something they look forward to. My channel brings them positivity. It's a place where they can have a laugh, they can relax and just chill, and And that really meant something to me. The fact that I could maintain this channel and bring people something positive. But there was a problem. Because of the content that I was creating in regards to the games industry, it was bringing in a lot of subscribers who were ruining that vibe. I keep a close watch on the comments, and there are people who want to come here for positivity and relax, and they were expressing that they were just kind of bummed out by the killjoys that were coming into the comment section, just ruining everything with their negativity and spreading hate and looking for hate content. So I decided that I want to focus this channel entirely on bringing people positivity. I want this channel to be a place where you can hang out, you can relax, you can have fun, and you shouldn't have to worry about people in the comment sections just pushing negativity onto other people. I had to somehow get a lot of people to unsubscribe from my channel, and I wasn't exactly sure how to do that. But when the topic of the Nintendo Switch 2 came up, and I saw that people were getting riled up and highly emotional, and I knew that a portion of my subscribers would be looking for anger and hatred. They're looking for me to, stick it to them, show Nintendo. I saw the opportunity to create content with very deliberate phrasing and tone that I knew that my genuine audience, the people that come here to just have fun, to have some positivity, I knew those people would not be offended. I knew that you guys would know something is up. Because I talked to you guys directly in the comment section. I know you're intelligent people, I know you're funny people, because so many comments, I'm laughing out loud. And I knew that you guys would understand what was up. So basically what I've been doing with my videos over the past 2 weeks or so is I've been using phrasing, language, and tone that I knew would upset people who want to push negativity onto other people. People who are looking for rage bait content, people who are looking just to hate something. Those people were ruining the experience of my channel for other people.
Shut the fuck up!
And finally, I don't want to make negative videos because the videos are bad and I need industry people to see that I am not biased towards that one side, so I'm going to make other videos so that I can come across as neutral and get invited to make speeches from the inside. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be coming up later in the video again, and it's just, he doesn't keep track of the shit that he makes up. Also, most of you probably know Harmful Opinions channel and his videos on Jerrel. I get comments telling me to go check them out very often, but on the off chance that you don't, go have a look at his latest video, Sweet Sungrand Inc., because he spoke to Jerrel directly, and one reason that he gave to this entire rigmarole of lies, something that he didn't even mention here with his interview with Smash, was yet another objective, yet another version of this heel turn, which was to stop this supposed vitriol and bigotry towards marginalized minorities that he was seeing spiking up in the discourse lately, including in videos from his peers. We'll get to this a bit later and shit on it too, of course, but also there's way more stuff in that video of his, honestly. Like, my focus is on this interview here and the chain of events of the past few weeks since the announcement of the Switch where all of this began. Harmful Opinions though, he went and took a deep dive of Jerrel's channel, checking out loads of his videos from the past, and he presents various instances that put into question his entire persona, from smaller lies to bigger ones.
Well, from my perspective as a viewer of your channel, I'd say your strong suit really is just putting the suit on and speaking to the industry professionally about what's... I get that. I get that. I think that's kind of what's so interesting at this crossroads that you're at right now, because that's kind of part of why you had a rise to fame, and it's kind of the ironic dichotomy of what you're dealing with. Of
I know
what grew
and
you is not what you like to do.
I know, and that's largely, like, I have been trying to sabotage the channel actively because I did not want to earn an audience from that. To me, that is not... People think they cheer on the videos. They think this is cool, this is fun. I cannot explain to you how much I dislike doing those. They're not fun to me. They're not silly. I don't like the attention that I get from those videos.
So let me get this straight. You want to fight for gamers, you want to help the situation we are at in the industry, but you hate talking about this stuff. How are you going to do that if you hate talking about it? What kind of talks at universities and events are you going to be doing on our supposed behalf when you hate speaking on our behalf and are actively looking to expunge the audience that you gained doing it in YouTube videos? How does this make any goddamn sense? The audience you gained is the audience you're supposed to be fighting and advocating for in your industry work, yet it is also the audience that you want to not be associated with. Please take note, guys. He claims he wants to fight for us at a higher and more effective capacity from inside the industry by doing those industry speeches where they would count the most. But those same industry speeches are the things that he claims to hate doing. He hates it so much. You know, the thing that he claims is the reason why so much negativity has been brought to his channel. The thing that has drawn the bad people that he needed to get rid of. The toxics and the hatefuls. He wanted to get rid of them because it was ruining his community. So, if this is bad shit, if this is a source of negativity and bad people, something that he hates talking about and something that he can't have in his channel either because, you know, if he does, then people will not accept him to come speak at their events or universities or whatever, then what the fuck is he going to talk about then? What's he going to do? Is he going to do like Smash said? Put on a nose ring, dye his hair purple and wear a rainbow t-shirt to see if they let him in, and then start talking about how diversity and inclusion harms the industry for about 17 seconds before they pull him out of the stage? Because it's either that or he's not looking to advocate for anything at all. Jerrel is not getting into any talks without the hosts knowing precisely who he is and what he'll be talking about. As soon as a fucking anti-consumer event or of some kind sees that he's there to, in whatever way, advocate for the consumer, he's not getting in.
I only did those out of responsibility because no one else was doing it. No one else was fighting for gamers.
Lots of other people have been doing it before him, and many will carry on doing so after him, and honestly at a higher degree of success too. Something else to note is Sungrand's Delusions of Grandeur. He sees himself as someone with far more legitimacy and efficiency than anyone else, and he doesn't even realize that there's other people in the industry, other industry professionals that are actually industry professionals in the AAA space that are working or have worked against the grain in their own way. Maybe this is why he has so many issues with being seen as a YouTuber. He's insecure and hasn't sold his own bullshit to himself, where he presents himself as an industry professional, says he's had many positions in the industry and been in corporate environments dealing with suits, but never really ever presented any evidence of it whatsoever. All we really know about him is that he used to work in the photography industry. At least that's what he said. He said that he was brought into it by his friend and supposedly mentor who died about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and he's an indie developer with a history of working on very small budget and very small scale games. You guys can Google them for yourselves. It's called Silver Falls. I'm not in the business of humiliating indie game developers for their work, especially when I am not an indie game developer myself who knows the ins and outs and the struggles of solo game development. However, it must be said that for a man who presents himself the way that Jerrel does and speaks the way that he does, says the things that he does, implies as if he has been on, you know, one of the top dogs and knows the gaming corporate world like the back of his own hand and has access to it, rubbed shoulders with executives and all that, the games that he makes look like total shit. They don't look like the games that someone with this kind of story and this kind of background would have. I have interacted with several indie game developers since starting making videos and using Twitter. I even know one personally who has been studying game design and participating in game jams. None of them act or behave like Jerrel. I think that collectively we looked at this guy and took what he said at face value because his appearance and candor gave the illusion of someone who actually knew what he was talking about and was high up in the industry. But in reality, I think he's just a solo indie game developer who thinks a little too highly of himself, or perhaps has high aspirations to land a job at a higher level in the industry, such as working for Nintendo as he was trying to get a gig a couple of weeks ago in his video to Doug Bowser. Or as he's trying to allude to now with a consultancy position, and so he's doing that whole fake it till you make it thing, or perhaps manifesting destiny by presenting himself the way that he wishes to be seen. Whichever the case, he absolutely fucking blew it the moment he began simping for Nintendo, followed by crashing out when his audience called him out on it.
Do you consider yourself an honest person?
Living life just day to day, yes. But when I'm doing industry work, not always honest, because you have to be ruthless. And that's largely why I stopped working at industry level. That's why.
Shut up.
I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about here, guys. Being ruthless has nothing to do with being dishonest. And if he hasn't been honest, and isn't planning on being honest if he's doing industry work, then there's no reason to listen to anything that he has to say. Also, friendly reminder that he's just been making YouTube videos. That's it.
Before I put the suit on and did that, it's been sitting in my closet for like more than 10 years or so. And it was always, people think the suit, oh, it's so proud, it's cool. I mean, honestly, I was a little bit ashamed of it because of the work that you have to do, and you have to deal with, there are people out there who are way worse than me. They're horrible. They're just rotten, vile, and you have to fight that. And if you don't put on your gloves, and if you don't...
CJ, I'm loving this story, but we gotta go in.
I'll finish later.
TBC.
Bullshit. He literally did community posts with the suit on and the tie front and center in the frame to announce an upcoming video. This is not something someone does out of shame. He did this multiple times. I only scrolled down for about 2 months worth of content, and I found 5 instances of this. 3 of them for the black speech suit and 2 others for other random shit. Also, using the community tab to announce upcoming videos, even with pictures of other outfits, but still banging on the point that he's just a poor, clueless guy who is not a YouTuber and doesn't know how to use YouTube, is hilarious. Not only does he upload even more often and consistently than other people who would consider themselves YouTubers, and not only does he use the community tab to announce upcoming videos and engage with his community, but he even has a goddamn Discord server. Like, bro, not even I have a Discord server. Shit, he even streams these days. This guy's fucking eternal copium of not being a YouTuber while literally doing everything a YouTuber would do, especially one that is really focused on growing his channel and growing his community, is just amazing to witness. Also, why the fuck are you putting on the suit in the first place then? I do my videos in my pajamas sometimes, bro. And in September, when I started out, it was so hot in my room because it's like an attic, sort of like the Roach King himself, you know, except with not as much garbage and sodas around. I was making videos without wearing a goddamn thing except some underwear while scripting, recording, and editing. I'm definitely looking into changing this though, because it gets so hot in this goddamn country that it is unbearable to make videos in the summer. I'm not going to be sitting here with no goddamn pants on for another fucking year. Also, while we're at it, what's with the other community posts with the other kinds of outfits? If the black suit gives you the power of ruthless speeches towards the industry without any care at all for the target's emotions and all of that shit, then what about the other ones? What about this brown one with a funky tie? Does it give you more agility and strength? And what about this golden one here? Does it give you charisma and luck? Which one of these gives you the power of bullshitting your audience?
That's
honest,
fair.
you know?
I guess I don't mean to interrupt you, but I guess what I meant with the question was, I mean, do you consider yourself an honest person to your viewers? I guess I don't think the viewers give a shit about the industry and you talking to people in the industry. Are you honest with your viewers?
Absolutely. Everything's been honest, except for this month where I was just actively trying to get people angry at me because to position myself better in the industry, there needed to be hate content about me from both sides of the conversation. Previously, there was only one side of the conversation disliking me and the other side of the conversation cheering me on, and you understand how that makes me look biased.
Trust me guys, everything has been honest except for this month. That explains everything, but by the way, he still doesn't want you back because you're scum and he needs the morons in the industry who he will leverage his subscriber count into a job with to see that you are mad at him or whatever the fuck. Oh my god, this fucking guy. I mean, can you imagine? Like, this man had over a week to sit down and cook up a good story to convince everyone, and instead this is the stuff that he comes up with? I mean, he makes video games. Doesn't he, have to write stories for his games? And the saddest part is, imagine if it was true. Imagine if he's actually nuts, and this is really a plan that he thought of, like a real thing, and instead of having these industry higher-ups looking him up and going, "Ah yes, this Jerrel fellow seems like a perfect fit for our event. I have been looking through his repertoire and I see a wide spectrum of people pissed off at him across several different socio-political leanings. I believe he will be perfect to deliver a speech at our next keynote." He's gonna have them seeing a bunch of dislikes on his videos, weird fucking stories about fighting kids with screwdrivers. Fighting off coyotes and shit. I mean, who knows, maybe even Aquaman as well. And a boatload of comments expressing disappointment and straight up clowning on him. Plus, the funniest part is, if you search Sungrand right now, instead of his channel or videos, you get videos calling him a compulsive liar, a fake, a fraud, a manipulator, etc. from other channels. What a brilliant plan, executed perfectly.
Right? And no one's going to trust some speaker who's biased already against their cause. So I needed content online that had both sides of the conversation saying, "Oh, we don't like this guy," equally. That makes me look more neutral, so I can get to more places, I can speak in more places, and I can share my ideas in more places, and I can make sure your gamers' voices, what people are telling me in the comments, and I'm listening and trying to understand, I want to make sure that those voices can be heard in more places, not just, there's a phrase, singing to the choir. You know what I mean? There's no.
This guy is capping so hard, even Smash AT doesn't know what the fuck is going on right now. Look at his face. Everyone is biased. Everyone is a goddamn bias. No one has a clear blank slate opinion. Your videos are anti-corporate. You state that yourself. You will not be asked to speak if the companies aren't interested in anti-corporate sentiment. Be that in regards to prices, monetization, underhanded tactics, or cramming ideological agendas into video games. And you haven't done any such thing as expanding your channel to have two different sets of videos supporting two different things to push this image of being unbiased or of exploring several different sides of a problem. You just made industry speeches speaking against companies who neglect their player bases and refuse to cater to their audiences, companies that do discrimination-based hiring, aka DEI, and you also criticize consultants. Those are the videos that you made. And then aside from that, all that you've ever made was random comedy skits, random videos sitting by the fire talking or playing music. Oh, and of course, you simped for Nintendo. People say that this guy is a compulsive liar. I'm starting to believe it. He doesn't even bother with world building for the bullshit that he's making up. He just spews gibberish on the spot that is easily provable as a lie by anyone who either knows him or knows his content, or just anyone with common sense. The shit he's making up here, it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't click.
And then in the follow-up battle video where I directly addressed Doug Bowser, which, let me tell you, is terrifying. You don't just do that. That is terrifying to do that. And I did that video, and I addressed Doug Bowser directly.
What the fuck is he talking about? It's terrifying to make a video talking to Doug Bowser. I called him a prick in one of my videos and that was no sweat off my back. But then again, I guess I'm not making video games for his platform. This pretty much confirms what I said previously in regards to Jerrel being useless the moment that Nintendo dipped its toes into this whole DEI world. Many of Jerrel's videos have been against that in companies in the AAA space, and it's easy for him to drag Sony, Ubisoft, BioWare, etc. because they're not Nintendo. He's not a fanboy toy of theirs and it doesn't make games for their platforms. If Concord had been a Nintendo project, this man would have gotten on camera and delivered an industry speech telling us all how fucking stupid we are and how amazing the game actually is. In the character design analysis that he made, he would have found a way to glaze them or excuse their, unique and original designs, exactly the same way that he defended Nintendo's games prices, remastered prices, with fucking DLC sold separately, and the game keycard issue that is already so out of hand that games that merely weigh 11 gigabytes are already being made digital only instead of physical. The same way that this dude found delusional and pathetic ways to defend these decisions, he would have found ways to do the same for Concord's bullshit, so long as he was simping for Sony or if Concord was a Nintendo product. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Why is it terrifying to talk to Doug Bowser? Because I tag him on X once in a while. He's liked my posts. I call him out all the time. I don't fear him. Why do you?
Because I'm not addressing him as, hey, I'm just this guy on the internet. Nintendo knows me. I am a professional working in the industry. A professional working in the industry. A professional working in the industry.
Dr. Han!
Nintendo knows me. Dramatic pause. What he means is, he's an indie developer who makes unremarkable games for Nintendo. That's the extent at which his professional work goes in the games industry. That's all he's shown, and there's no indication of anything else.
And so to call him out in a way that, I'm not exactly friendly in that video. So it is that obviously I can't exactly explain absolutely everything, but if that is not well received, that video could have ended very, very badly for me. So me making that video was me sticking my neck out extremely far for gamers. And people don't really understand the danger that I put myself in by doing that. And I was sitting on that video and I was, for like 2 hours, I was thinking, I don't know if I should make this public because this could end very badly for me if they decide they didn't like what I've just said.
Again, that self-aggrandizing main character delusion of grandeur and the false framing of his video. His video at Doug Bowser wasn't even negative. What is he talking about? He was fucking defending Nintendo on it. He was calling people who were unhappy with their business decisions unhinged weirdos who ran out of Teslas to burn.
Right now, Nintendo would really benefit from a human element in the way that it is communicating with consumers right now. What people really need is more clarity and transparency as to the reason why prices are the way they are. Right now, people need someone who they can trust. Nintendo would really benefit from someone who can work with a team to filter through the noise so they can understand the needs, expectations, and situation of genuine customers, people who have real worries and concerns. Nintendo would really benefit from someone who is able to handle receiving abuse and negativity from the internet and still be able to communicate in a calm and clear manner. What Nintendo's customers need right now is reassurance. We don't want to have to look at a video that says, oh, Nintendo is anti-consumer, they're greedy, they're hateful, they're angry. Of course we don't want to look at those things, so we won't open those videos, we won't listen to that, because it's pretty obvious those people just want to generate hatred. So we're not going to hear any of the feedback. Right now, due to just how things are all around the world with so many different things, it's just a combination of so many different elements. Nintendo is the world's punching bag right now because people have nowhere else to vent their frustration. People are running out of Tesla buildings to vandalize and burn down, and they don't have anywhere else to throw out their feelings.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
It's not your job, it's not Nintendo's job to bring any kind of positivity or hope to the world. But I personally hope that you will try anyway. I really wish there was a way I could help the situation. If you guys would like to contact me, you have my contact information. Your people know how to contact me. Take care. Thank you, Mr. Bowser.
He's acting as if he was about to get cancelled off of the goddamn platform for making a video, not even criticizing their prices, but actually just trying to get a job at Nintendo as their personal speaker. He acts as if what he did was so big and risky. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. Look at what Lords of the Fallen just did. They didn't just make a little video going, hello, Dougie Bowser? Listen, I don't think people like the prices you put. Maybe you should hire me and I can reassure them on the prices with a human approach. Please contact me, okay? The CEO took a hardline stance speaking out against DEI, the poisonous sludge that the entire AAA industry bought into wholesale, including Microsoft and Sony themselves as companies, while simultaneously selling his games on their platforms. He adamantly speaks against it. He doesn't just take it out of his company structure and video games, he publicly speaks against it by explaining in his own words why he believes it to not be good for gaming or for business. And yet you don't see him whinging about it on YouTube or trying to gain leverage with gamers like, oh man, you guys have no idea how much I am risking here for you. You guys have no idea how difficult this is. Please buy our game, okay guys, please. Nah. What he does instead is he runs his company and just keeps on working, him and his developers, letting their actions speak for themselves, and getting a bunch of sales off of the 2.0 update, which wasn't just addressing some of the culture war things, but also packed with a long list of improvements and overhauls for their game from player feedback and observing trends going back already since 2023. Sungrand seriously needs to get off his high horse for a second and humble himself a bit. The funniest thing for me is that he likes to play the humble card. For example, he starts this interview rejecting Smash's comment about it being an honor of having him on his channel because he's been a viewer of his content. And of course there's also other instances like whenever he used to come on his videos and say, I'm no one special, you know, I'm just a normal person, but then the mask slips and he's actually the guy. He's the guy who puts on the suit, the shark of the industry, the industry professional.
I had to prioritize what I believed would put me in a position to do the most good. And the trade-off for that was the channel. The channel had to be traded for that. Because if I only keep doing the videos, I'm basically only going to be viewed as just a YouTuber. This is just a YouTuber making little videos in his mother's basement or wherever he lives, and that isn't exactly good positioning.
This and many other comments throughout not just his videos but also this interview just keep showing a continuous disdain for the very concept of being a YouTuber, a disdain for YouTubers in general. I don't know where this is coming from, I don't know who heard him besides Fratanga, but that obviously isn't the source of his I'm not a YouTuber bullshit. But I would bet that somebody is probably going to find it sooner or later as they go through the rabbit hole that is this man's channel. YouTubers who are successful at what they do, which is a position that he was in because his industry speech videos were good and were often boosted by Asmongold, they, as creators, are able to reach serious legitimacy that goes well beyond YouTube. YouTube itself isn't just a fucking video sharing platform for amateurs anymore. There are entire brands being built on here. This is where the alternative media is being formed, and there's people out there building insane brands with millions of subscribers and others who have far less but look like they just cut out for it, you know, they're well on their way of getting to that level. They've got skills and showmanship and they are investing on YouTube to be their platform. I love the Nerdrotic channel, for example. I love the Friday Night Tights show that they do every week. They get high caliber guests to show up and the whole thing is just this perfect mix of professional and casual blended together. And for example, on the gaming landscape, we have Hypnotic with Saturday Night Hypnosis. I only just recently started watching after he began covering Sungrand's Crash Out, and I was pretty impressed with the quality and work ethic, especially given that he isn't even at 100k subscribers yet. And this is what I mean with investing in your skills, investing in your talent, to build up your channel, to build up your brand on YouTube. Saturday Night Hypnosis may very well be something akin to Friday Night Tights, but, you know, on the gaming side of things, in the future. Like, you as a creator didn't have to sit there on a fucking couch with random shit in the hallway. I'm sorry. And in the videos, you don't have to just be sitting in front of a green screen with a monotone, and your videos don't just have to be the format that they are. They can be much more, provided that that's what you want to do, and the legitimacy you gain from it will come from the value that you bring to your channel and to your content. The irony of this entire thing is you fucked yourself over trying to gain more legitimacy because you have some weird little distaste for YouTubers and for being considered a YouTuber. Yet, as a YouTuber, you would have had more legitimacy and impact in the industry if you merely wished to do so. If this was indeed your goal and not just another load of bullshit, this could have actually been easily achieved from your position on YouTube as your channel kept growing and as you dedicated yourself more to it, adding more quality to it, more value, maybe starting inviting, those fellow developers who speak or work against the grain in the industry, like, Marek Tymiński, the CEO of CI Games. Or the guy from Ori and the Blind Forest. You could even go on to land very highly desired guests on your own little corner of the internet, such as, for example, the directors or lead developers of companies such as Sandfall Games, who just broke the internet with Claire Obscure Expedition 33, or Rebel Wolves, who are working on the already highly anticipated Dawnwalker, developers that used to work for CD Projekt Red. Just developers speaking to each other, maybe even slowly but surely normalizing speaking out against some of these detestable things going on in the AAA industry, such as the obsession with modern audiences, censorship, and of course the decay of the AAA space and the AA jams taking the industry by storm. There is so much more that you could have done and built towards on YouTube, with an actual impact in the industry instead of this embarrassing ass mishmash of lies and crashouts, or this ridiculous master plan of playing 4D chess with your audience so the retards in the industry could see this, this guy is so good. He's acting retarded online, which means he's precisely what we need, giving speeches for aspiring developers and insiders. If any of this was true, you fumbled royally. And if it was just another lie, another, nugget of, misinformation to push your narrative forward, then it's totally false and unsubstantiated.
So frustrating because I hear from a lot of people that tell me about their experiences that they were discriminated against because they weren't diverse enough. That is something that just someone has to fight that. Someone has to go into the industry and fight it. And there's only so much I can do here with YouTube videos. There's a limit to what those can achieve, but I know that in person, I know that I can have a much stronger impact.
Again, you are never going to speak publicly or officially in this regard in the industry. You're not going to do this from the inside because they don't let people like you in. Why the fuck do you think that people speaking out about this are on YouTube? And this is just another instance of an inconsistent narrative. This sort of opinion that is against hiring based on discrimination through diversity quotas is what the audience you want to kick out of your channel was there for. If you don't want them around, if you consider them hateful, if you're trying to detach your brand, so to speak, from this, then what the hell are you going to be talking about? What are you going to be bringing up when you do industry work in this regard? Like, I'm just trying to be realistic here. You're not going to be able to speak against the companies at company-held events. And I know he mentions universities as well, but it's the same thing, right? Because his main thing is that he doesn't want to be in what essentially would be described as an echo chamber. He doesn't want to be making these industry speech videos for people who already agree with them. He wants to do them where people disagree with them, so that he can, fucking reach them or whatever. This is not going to happen. Universities that would invite him would be universities that are aligned with his view. If universities are woked out, like if it's a woked out university that employs DEI and everything, they're not going to fucking invite him over to speak against DEI. And when he's making his videos, he's not doing it towards an echo chamber. Of course, most people who are going to watch them and comment and like the video are in agreement with him. But those videos, they serve to help people, to wake people up, to tell them the truth. The only industry work that he could do, and that the industry would allow, and that is impactful, is if he made amazing games. Not little niche games that virtually nobody plays, but actual bangers that hit the mainstream. And then, as a studio, as a big brand in the industry, he could publicly denounce DEI hiring and ideological influences in his games. Or if he doesn't want to be that direct and controversial, he could do it through the games by, for example, designing designing visually appealing characters that are not censored or made to look certain ways, and do the male and female character selection instead of body type nonsense, so on and so forth. But his games are just not at that capacity. And he still denounced this kind of topic as something inherently negative. If he believes that this is negative, then there's no solution here. He just wants to get into the industry to be their yes man and tell us off in a professional setting while getting paid.
So with that being the case, is there an agenda? Is there a, I can use the, and be honest, please. Is there an agenda? That's fair. I didn't know, like, are you, any plans on ramping up on video output specifically on one area, or ramping down on your YouTube channel in general? Or have you thought about where is your channel now? Because from my perspective, it's all over the fucking map. You're putting videos out that are oh, I'm sorry, woe is me, let's go fishing, I fought someone at the grocery store, oh, woe is me for this one, deleting this one, deleting that one, oh, hey, Hypnotic, Bar Dark, Smash JT, you guys are awesome. I'm like, what is this channel even turning into? What like, as a viewer, I'm confused. So what direction are you going in the future?
Well, like I said, one, I don't really know what I'm doing on YouTube, and two, this past month, I was actively sabotaging the channel in order to gain better positioning in the industry. Did I do a bad job of it? Probably, because I don't understand YouTube. I do not believe I'm good at it. I know that I don't really understand it.
There's literally nothing to understand. You only need to understand YouTube to do one thing: grow your channel. Crap to do with click-through rates, likes and dislikes, what helps in the algorithm, video lengths, no words that you shouldn't say, audience retention, etc. Like, I know very, very little about this. I'd need to research it deeper, and even then I don't even know where to research it, because it's not like there's a channel or a guide explaining these things perfectly. Plus there's also the fact that these things change over time. You don't need to understand any of it to be human, though, or for the shit that Jerrel was looking to do. If he wanted to lose subscribers, he didn't need to do what he did. It was simple and easy, just stop uploading videos. Why the fuck is he even making videos in the first place if he's so adamant of not being a YouTuber? If he doesn't want to be a YouTuber and he wants to lose subscriber count, then stop uploading and go work in the industry. Instead, this dude is uploading daily, sometimes even twice a day. It's obvious that he's got a taste for that ad revenue and for the job. It's obvious that this has become his primary focus. There's only so many hours in the day that you're able to be making games and making more than one daily video. Harmful Opinions video also exposed how this was a lie, and he has in the past committed to having this channel be a main thing for him, even if just to push his games. He even went off on a video about how he was playing into the algorithm to get more views. But is it even surprising anymore that he's just lying again? That's all this guy seems to ever do now. Lying. I'm not a YouTuber, I don't understand YouTube. Yet there's a video from before not only committing to YouTube but also talking about the algorithm and playing into it. I'm a professional in the industry, but there's no proof of it at all. He just makes low-tier games that do not justify the suit and tie and top-tier talk. He also says that he makes video games for fun, but then he says that making video games is actually his main source of income. It's his actual job, and he is a professional in the industry. Why bother taking any of it seriously anymore? Here's another suggestion though. Let's say you do actually go with that plan where you go mask off, lose all reason and start advocating for game prices and other stupid shit, and then scolding your audience when they get mad. Don't make a video immediately the next day saying, "Hey guys, it's okay, everything is fine, I was only pretending to be retarded so those other guys would leave." Doing that made absolutely no sense. And another suggestion is, don't go on an interview after a couple of weeks and explain your master plan of how to infiltrate the industry like Kim Belair and speak against the garbage that she pulls. Because now, even if this moronic plan was ever to work, and let's say that you somehow got an invitation to go speak at GDC, where all these activists congregate, there will be a whole staff of dingleberries doing a background check on you, finding all of these videos of yours acting unhinged, including this interview where you just revealed your master plan to... what? get those invitations like the hypothetical GDC one, and then once you get up there, you're like wearing a tracksuit and you rip it off like a skit from Jackass, you know, like Party Boy, revealing your black suit underneath, and it's like a scene from a vampire show where the suit acts like a blinding crucifix, making the SJWs in the crowd burn like, ah, no, it's the Armani bigot! Our only weakness has been exploited. Like, what the fuck kind of Bollywood movie has this guy got cooking in his head with this? I don't understand YouTube. You have nothing to understand here, you just have to say what you mean. There's no code or algorithm to expressing yourself and being honest. The hardest part of the business is to be seen and build an audience, and you already had that done. This is why he looks like such a compulsive liar. He can't get out of this nonsensical narrative of wanting to piss people off, to lose the haters in his community, so his content could just all be about positivity and fun, which, by the way, remember earlier in the video I pointed this out. This isn't even the narrative he's using anymore. It's no longer about wanting to make positive content for fun. It's about wanting to make content to piss people off so that the industry can notice him and be like, oh, this guy is one of us. He's an asshole who wants to stick it to the paying customer. Let's hire him.
Yeah, that's largely why I want to step away from the industry topics and the negative videos that I've been doing. Is I just want to talk about cool stuff. I want to be able to show games and cover different game engines, help people figure out what game engine is good for them, for the project that they want to make, where's a good starting point. And those videos are the ones that I really enjoy making, but I was starting to understand I can't keep making the negative stuff and have this stuff on the same channel. It's not gonna work out.
Great, why can't you do both though? What stops you from doing that in addition to the other stuff? Or better yet, what stopped you from just focusing on this without going through all of this ridiculous drama? You know, I genuinely believe that there's some truth to what he's saying here. Absolutely, I just don't believe the part about him doing the rest of the Pepperoni Festival that was, you know, his videos since the Switch announcement. I think he was just sitting at home, seeing the Switch stuff, all happy and shit, started even releasing videos before the pricing issue about how great the new Switch 2 capabilities are, and then he went online and he saw so many people crapping all over it. And so we decided to go ahead and put on the suit and make a video addressing all of it and excusing all of the terrible business decisions from Nintendo with terrible arguments in its defense and talking down to his audience at the same time. Defending the inflation angle, saying that developers essentially need to get paid and so this is necessary and a reality of the world, and then he topped it all off with putting the Iwata reference on screen to justify the prices further and just get people to shut up because we should just be happy since that's what Satoru Iwata would have wanted for us. I'm sorry, big dog, but Satoru Iwata doesn't put food on my table and I could give a fuck about what will make him happy. $80 video games make me unhappy and they are indefensible, and using a dead man to do that appeal was a huge L on Jerrel's part. His audience didn't like it, they called him out on the comments, then Fratanga made a video on him and we all know how his videos are, he probably roasted him on it, and Jerrel started spiraling and turning on his audience and on content creators, as he put it, when he likely just meant Fratanga. He doubled down on his dismissive, condescending and patronizing behavior, and this just kept going and going and going, with the situation becoming worse with each new video. That right there, in my opinion, is the patient zero of this entire situation. He could have just taken the L and moved on, but he couldn't do that. He had to get his, so he just kept going and going and going, trying different tactics to cover his ass and turn the situation around. Eventually, he made that aforementioned video about a dead friend from cancer, which now in hindsight is extremely sus because of all the weird little nuggets of information that correlate with other information on previous and current videos of his. He just did it to serve as a justification as to why his tone in his recent videos had changed. And then it just got worse and worse from there as well. That video may as well not even existed because it didn't matter. He went right back to being condescending with a corporate video towards Doug Bowser, and then after that he crashed out. He has made his bed with his lies and he keeps on doing it. He can go ahead and create as many channels as he wants. Second channel, third channel, fuck. He can make 10 of them. As long as he keeps lying, embellishing, coping, and literally changing stories on a moment-to-moment basis, filled with inconsistencies, even during the interview where he should be at his most credible, it won't matter, because people are going to catch it and they're going to keep bringing it up. He doesn't understand that he broke the element of trust with his audience. People are going to be scrutinizing every word that he says now because of it. So the more lying he does, the worse it gets. He doesn't understand this yet. Let's go through his stories real quick. Oh, it's genuine, but my friend died and it has impacted me and I need to step away from negative content and make positive content now because I got another friend who is dying and I need to be positive and reassuring for him, and I have no fucking clue how to do that in real life unless I do it in my videos defending Nintendo's bullshit prices. Oh, actually, none of it was genuine. None of these videos were real, and I'm very upset at you because these were prompts to gauge your reaction to getting information from the industry, and the industry was watching. I had a board of directors sitting with me in the fucking woods, having tea and reading comment sections while playing the banjo to determine the future of this industry, and you guys failed because you gave the wrong answer to being fucked over by Nintendo. Oh, actually, none of that was actually real at all. Everything I've released over the past 2 to 3 weeks has been fake. It's all been an elaborate plan to get rid of negative attention in my comments, because I've got comments saying that they would like to unwind to my videos at the end of the day, and the negative people just ruin all of it. So I was just sitting there thinking, man, how do I do that? Oh, I know, I'll use the Nintendo situation. I'll say the opposite things that I actually mean in order to generate negative traffic, and apparently I'll also make a video manipulating my audience with the death of a friend due to cancer, because that's sure to spice things up a bit more. And I will top it all off with a video to Doug Bowser asking for a job, defending him and his business decisions, and calling criticism to be hateful videos that should be ignored. Now that is sure to piss people off as they see me defending a corporation, and then I'll do the crash out video where I will scold my audience. Oh guys, actually never mind, several parts of that plan were actually lies too. Why? Who the fuck knows? But here's the real truth this time around. I actually meant a lot of that because, you see, what I really wanted was to just make some people in my audience mad, so that the industry at large could look at me and my videos and be like, oh, he's actually a very unbiased man. He doesn't actually stand for those things that he made videos on in the past, because look, some random fucking chuds in his audience hate him or whatever the fuck. And actually, the video to Doug Bowser was very, very serious. I was actually not lying at all in it. I was very serious. Very, very serious, because it's Doug Bowser. I mean, holy crap, Smash. Can you imagine addressing Doug Bowser? He is so big and scary, and he could get me deplatformed or something. So that one part of the crash out was real. And also, so was the one about the cancer, but not like that. Not like the way that I presented it. It was actually just so, because I've gotten comments that, like it when I talk about these things. So I just wanted to talk about it because I thought that it would help people out. It had nothing to do with me or my channel at all. Are you paying attention, Smash JT? Am I being clear here, Jeff? What I'm trying to say to you is that I need to work in the industry at a more professional capacity. And in order to do that, I need a few people pissed off at me in my community and an excuse to stop making industry videos, because when Carla from HR comes and gives me a background check to make sure that I'm not just one of these basement-dwelling YouTubers like yourself. I mean, not like you at all. You, Vara, and Hypnotic are okay. You probably have, I don't know, a garage or something, I don't know. But the point is, Smash, Jeff, that Carla from HR needs to see that I'm not just some YouTuber chud grifter who makes these despicable negative videos that you guys do. I mean, sorry, not you guys. Not you. Never you. Not the three of you. You, again, all three of you are amazing. We were the best team. We were the best, man. But anyway, I need Carla from HR to see that I'm actually just like them. A suit that talks down to gamers. And then, are you following Jeff JT? Listen, because that's just step one, right? But then, when I'm in, then I will really do the real work. Like, you guys ain't even gonna believe this shit. It's going to be amazing. I will be like a Trojan horse. I will enter and I will strike from the inside. That's why I am now right here live with you, telling you my secret master plan to elude Carla from HR. Boy, I sure hope she never sees this. Good lord, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna need some whiskey this time around to deal with this headache. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, there's yet another version, right? Which is the one that I mentioned earlier, the one he told to Harmful Opinions, where he said that over the past few weeks he had noticed terrible, disgusting, vile, bigoted sentiment, hatred directed at marginalized groups in this discourse, the whole Gamergate stuff. Not only in the comments, but also from his peers who make videos as well. And so he set out to change that, to try and get these other creators in the space to stop being so racist. And according to him, he succeeded and actually got them to simmer down that rhetoric. He even asked Harmful Opinions to keep this to himself, because if it was revealed, it would compromise that amount of good that he was able to accomplish in the industry. Basically, he really is the Jesus of video game discourse. He cured racism, he sacrificed his channel for our sins, and if this truth got out, then oh my god, it would be chaotic. Bigotry would awash this world in hatred. We would all just lose our minds. We wouldn't be able to keep going normally as we have, and we would just become, I don't know, shit-flinging monkeys or something. I don't understand. I just wonder what Smash AT, Vara Dark, and Hypnotic, the people that Sungrand made that thank you video for, regarding them as some of the main creators in this space. I wonder what they would think about this narrative, about this claim that their content was either caked with or enabling hatred, vitriol, bigotry, etc. towards marginalized groups, and that apparently the only reason it stopped is because of his amazing job. This guy is so terrible at keeping track of his bullshit that he doesn't even realize the sheer amount of holes in his goddamn stories.
The ability that I have to be able to work in this environment comes from him. And so when he died, I felt immense guilt that I had not been using the experience and the knowledge and the wisdom that he passed on to me. Made me feel really guilty. And I did a terrible job explaining that. Obviously, I just was not in the right mindset to communicate with people because I was still trying to process that guilt into something productive.
By the way, here's the thing that I mentioned earlier in the video, where he now developed the tale into the dead friend, making him feel really guilty that he hasn't done a good enough job in the industry as he could. So now all of this guilt drove him to this master plan because he wants to have, valuable impact from the inside. So much for all that guilt-driven ambition when he's live right now, talking about it, literally exposing himself and ruining everything that he apparently was building up towards, before he was even able to get it off the ground, as if he was at a fucking Dr. Phil show.
There we go. He says, it's clear you want to make an impact. I think you didn't realize you were already making one. There we go. So I mean,
can take that on board. I can accept that. But again,
and I talked about my friend passing away, and again, this is not, I didn't feel like at any point I was making the sort of tone where I was saying feel sorry for me, because that's not what I was going for. But the friend that died recently is who taught me everything I know about working in the industry. The skills that I have, the ability that I have to be able to work in this environment comes from him. And so when he died, I felt immense guilt that I had not been using the experience and the knowledge and the wisdom that he passed on to me. Made me feel really guilty. And I did a terrible job explaining that. Obviously, I just was not in the right mindset to communicate with people because I was still trying to process that guilt into something productive. And so I felt like I'm not doing enough to fight for gamers right now. I'm not having enough of an impact on the industry, and I need to do more. I have the experience and the skills to do it, and I have to do more. And that's why I rushed sabotaging the channel, is I just wanted to rush and get into the industry and do more.
I hope you understand what I'm saying here.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things I do understand, there's some things I don't.
Dude, just... oh my god, he just doesn't stop. He just goes on and on and on. I wanted to, I need to impact the industry, then looking to Smash for validation, like, is my bullshit working, chat? Chat, please let me know if it's working, or if I need to go on for 15 more minutes and change a few things around.
We got True North says, but everything we say as criticism against you, you think of as purely hate. Like, we can't criticize something we love because people like you think criticism is me hating you.
No, I've never said that. I chat with people who openly criticize me, and then I talk with them and I openly say, look, I appreciate you sharing your honest opinions with me. So I'm not sure where people are getting that from, because there's so many people in the comment section who say they appreciate that I'll just listen to them, even though they disagree, even though they say that I've done something that wasn't great or bad. I'm glad to hear from that. I don't want to be around yes men. I do not want to be around people that say, oh, wow, good for you, good job. Because if you do that, you will never know if you're doing a good job or bad. You will know if you're a total a-hole or not. So I'm sorry, True North, but I disagree with you that I do not say that everything you say is criticism and then it's purely hate. When I say hate, I'm strictly referring to people that don't actually care about things. They're just, oh, this sucks, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks, I hate this, I hate that, I hate that, I hate that. Whenever I've mentioned hate, that is specifically what I'm talking about.
Bullshit. In his video to Doug Bowser, he specifically said that people who merely mentioned greed in relation to Nintendo's decisions were just rage-baiting hate spreaders. And in his Crash Out video, he never mentioned anything at all that he was at fault in. All he mentioned was that people were slandering him, and he never even showed a single example of any instance of it. True North was absolutely right. This is the sentiment of his audience. He can keep coping and saying that he disagrees, but that's what he's arranged for himself. He broke the trust that he had built.
That's why people are turning against you right there. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. That you got to turn this around and say, all right, I need to start understanding people.
I appreciate that. See, I'm not good at YouTube. I don't understand this, so I appreciate you telling me that.
I wouldn't even agree with Smash on this particular thing. If you know that you are right and you have the proof to back it up, then you stand your ground. It's perfectly fine to change your mind by taking in new information, new facts. There's no question about that. There's many matters that are evolving and new information comes in that changes the context of a situation. However, in this particular case, where it's something pertaining to just you and the things that you have said in your content, if you're not a bullshitter and you can back up your claims with facts, stand your ground. The problem here is that Sungrand has showed zero examples of anything, and in fact has examples showing the opposite if you go down his list of videos. So actually, now that I think of it, in a way, Smash's advice is actually great for Sungrand, because if he's invested into continuing on bullshitting his audience like this, then the best that he can do is change the language to pacify them, instead of inviting them to dig up more examples of contradictions, which they will find very easily, given the fact that he just can't stop changing his stories over and over and over while manipulating them for sympathy.
I appreciate that. See, I'm not good at YouTube. I don't understand this, so I
Nah, what you're not good at is managing your narratives. You have too many of them. You should get like a notebook or something and write them down so you don't make as many mistakes.
I just want to apologize because I didn't realize what an asshole move I made. I didn't realize what an asshole I was being to all of you. I was so racked with guilt, and I was so hyper-focused on achieving work in the industry and doing more to try to fight for gamers more. I was so hyper-focused on that, I didn't think about anything else. And I do understand that was really shitty. You shouldn't have done that. So,
but he literally said that he was being an asshole on purpose to get rid of the garbage in his community. You see what I mean? On and on it goes. No truth, no real Jerrel, no reality check, just more lies and workarounds appealing for sympathy. He already appealed for sympathy once before. That was his video on his friends who died of cancer. The moment he completely switched off those emotions in his following videos by continuing on doing the same shit that he was doing before and even aggravating it further, that was the moment he lost his audience's sympathy. Continuing down the same road only makes it worse.
I am no longer in a position where I can do things like that. In the past, I was basically lone wolf going at it with the industry. I did whatever I needed to do, and if someone needed me to do difficult work, they would send me in and we would just keep quiet about it. And they knew that if they need something to get done, then Jerrel will do it, and he'll be as brutal and ruthless as he needs to be to get it done.
Literally, what the fuck is he talking about? He's a fucking indie game developer who likes to go fishing and play songs in his downtime. This dude is talking like he's the Agent 47 of the games industry. Meanwhile, he can't even make a video directed at Doug Bowser without pissing all over himself.
I want to do more. I want to be able to make sure that gamers' voices aren't just heard here on YouTube. I want to make sure they're heard in auditoriums and in meeting rooms. I want to meet with these people, and I want to tell them exactly how you guys feel. And I was frustrated that I wasn't already doing that. And that's maybe sabotaging the channel and sacrificing it was the wrong approach for that. But I will work something out, and I will make it happen. I wasn't supposed to tell you all of this because this now sacrifices that. That puts it in a position where if they look online, they'll say, look, Jerrel does have a bias. I'm going to have to deal with that now. That's my problem.
Shut up! Shut up! Oh my God! Shut up, CJ!
Of course, off he goes again with his bullshit. Jerrel isn't making it in. It doesn't matter what spin he puts on it. This ninja Trojan horse shit is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard, and I don't know how, after like 2 weeks, with time to think about his next lie, this is the best that he could come up with.
I wasn't supposed to tell you all of this because this now sacrifices that. That puts it in a position where if they look online, they'll say, look, Jerrel does have a bias. I'm going to have to deal with that now. That's my problem. That's my battle.
Now, if they were to look, what they would see is a dude who crashed out online and is being clowned on, a dude who self-admittedly hates to advocate for the industry because he finds it negative, a dude scrambling to try and get into the good graces of the current powers in the industry by taking a shit on gamers' interests and lying, a dude who self-admittedly is dishonest. If this was truly his intention and plan, he just fucked up royally, and blaming it on not being a YouTuber is pointless. This isn't about being a YouTuber. This is about being honest and credible. Playing mind games with your audience and leveraging your subscriber count into finding opportunities outside is not part of the YouTuber handbook. Begging for likes and subscriptions is though, and this is your opportunity to do that right now. Like and subscribe to this video, to this channel. Share it with your friends. Share it on your socials. Show it to your mom. Show it to your mom's friend. Give her my number. Show it to your dad. Show it to a cousin you haven't talked to in over a year. Leave him fucking confused as to why it is that you're sharing a link in the middle of this April afternoon.
There, because if that's the approach a company's going to take, I would argue you don't want anything to do with working with them anyways. Why would you want to work in that environment where you have to be fake to get in there? I'm at a loss when I hear that.
Sorry, that was really funny to me. A lot of the professional world is fake. A lot of it you're dealing with fakes, and you have to navigate through it.
Of course they're fakes. What continuously matters to them is the message that they want to transmit. Why the fuck would they ever invite you to talk in meetings or speeches if they know that you go against the message that they are pushing? And even if they were to take the retarded ninja Trojan horse approach, why would they let you speak for another minute the moment that they realized that you were not there to talk about the garbage that they thought that you were going to talk about? Why would they even bother with any of this? When just going down your channel, they will find these videos dunking on Concord, Ubisoft, BioWare, etc. Those videos are still up. Could it be because this is all bullshit? Maybe. It could also be because of a reason that he already showed during his Doug Bowser video. He wants to be Nintendo's lapdog doing those same videos he did. Those videos weren't prompts to gauge our reaction, those videos were prompts for Nintendo to see a man in a suit talking down to his audience and defending them, using logic and sense and reassurance and calm and composure and professionalism, in his mind anyway, to do so. In the Doug Bowser video, he never even advocates for price drops. Instead, he asks Nintendo to please get better at communication by hiring him, for example, so that they can tell their players why the prices are higher. He doesn't want to be pro-gamer about it, he just wants a nice cozy gig being the one telling us what's what, like he did in the first video on Nintendo's pricing, where he puts on the suit, talks down to us, telling us about how inflation is a reality of the adult world and developers need to be paid and it's bad and blah 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 blah, without a single mention for the fact that Nintendo is a company making billions of dollars in revenue. But of course, this is just speculation on my part. For all I know, he just cooked up whatever he just said right there on the spot, at random, and he hoped that Smash wouldn't press him harder on any of his answers.
A little bit of positivity for their day. That's really what I want. Whether it's talking about a cool retro console, or there's a sale on this game engine that's really good and easy to jump into. I just wanted to make cool, positive stuff for people. That's what I want to focus on with my channel. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but that's what I'm going to do.
Oh god, just please stop thinking about what works and what doesn't. Just please go and make whatever the fuck videos you want to make so your remaining audience doesn't run away. This is what you should have focused on in the beginning. You didn't need anything else. You didn't need to spaz out over Nintendo. You didn't need to crash out. You didn't need all of these fucking videos. You didn't need the one about your friend. You didn't need anything. All you had to do was, guys, I get it. You disagree with me, it is what it is. I'm still excited about the Switch 2. If Nintendo changes their prices, great, better for everyone, but if not, I don't care, I'm still going to buy one and make content on their games. Done. That's it. That's all you needed to do. We didn't need this entire rigmarole of bullshit. All this shit, people are lying about me, they're slandering me, they're saying this, they're saying that, nobody is defending me, I am an adult, I am an industry professional, I am just a dude, I am not a YouTuber, I will tell you the reality of things and you can either accept them or you can keep being mad, blah 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 blah. What was all this for?
I'll leave you with that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will take that on board, but that's the reason why I want to separate the industry stuff from the channel. Do you get my reasoning?
No, and I'm done.
I will make it work. I will fight for gamers. This happened because of some dumbass decisions that I made. I'll deal with it. I'll make it work.
All right, that's fair. I think that's all people can ask for. I think people are going to be watching and seeing where you go from here. And I wish you the best of luck. But more important than everything, I just say thank you for joining and taking these questions. And we'll leave you with that, man.
I don't know, I don't care, honestly. I mean, look, Jerrel was given a solid load of subscribers through Asmongold's reactions. He already had the hardest part nailed down, which is to be noticed. To upload a video and not have it stuck on like fucking 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100, maybe 200 views, and actually breaking past into the thousands and reaching more people out there. He's got over 100,000 subscribers. If he wants to do something with them, he absolutely can. The hate and criticism is not going to last forever. Eventually, it will stop, but it just won't matter until he is honest with himself and with his audience. If he doesn't stop lying, if this compulsive need to keep at it doesn't go away, what's the point? Best thing he can do is just stop talking about this altogether, go back to making his fun videos for the few who still remain, either totally unaware of what's going on or merely interested in that kind of, game development content, which honestly is a great outlet for his channel. It always has been. He just spazzed out. What he needs is to stop addressing all of this. Every time he does it, it just gets worse. More lies and more inconsistencies get thrown into the story. It's already so confusing that there isn't even a point in even following it. It's very difficult to believe that he's going to turn it around when he keeps lying like this and continues this behavior, because people aren't stupid, they see through it. But at the same time, like I said before, 100,000 subscribers is nothing to scoff at. Even less than that, even if he only had 50,000 subscribers, it's still nothing to scoff at. Someone can still make a decent comeback from that if they just stop being an idiot. Something that he needs to understand is that, while making videos, it's just a reality that you will sometimes make a mistake, that you will screw up, or you will sometimes have a take that doesn't resonate with your audience as much. You will be getting some negative comments. You will be having videos where the subscriber count goes down and where you might even be called out. And at that point, you just take the L and you move on, or you just reevaluate, take the new information in that's being given to you, look into the matter further, try to see if there's something that you missed, and again, you move on, or you just simply see it, acknowledge it, disagree if you think that you're right, but you move on. The point is moving on instead of crashing the fuck out so hard that you turned what happened into a Spanish telenovela. But honestly, this is only if my simplistic assessment is correct, because honestly I could be wrong, and Harmful Opinions assessment might be the correct one, where Jerrel truly is a mixed bag of delusions of grandeur, compulsive lying, and emotional manipulation, in which case, who knows where this story is going to go next? Who knows how many more stupid ass videos is he going to do about fighting coyotes, or fighting bears in space, or the other one in the supermarket with the kid with a screwdriver trying to stab people and he's like corralling him with a fucking chair and shit like that. Who knows how many of these retarded videos is he going to make, thinking that they make him look good when in reality they're just continuing to transform him into a lol cow. I'll say this though, at least those videos are quite entertaining. Maybe you could pivot his channel into a troll channel. Anyway, this is already way too long, so I'm going to get the hell out of here. What do you think about that last one? Do you think Jerrel has a chance to make a comeback? 100,000 subscribers is no thing to scoff at. A lot is possible to be rebuilt when you already have a very solid subscriber base that will receive your videos and their suggestions one way or another. Or do you think that he's eternally cooked? Leave your answer in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this clown show. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.